Hi, I'm Adam Drake from Mugen Seiki Racing. Today I'm going to talk about tuning your vehicle using sway bars. Now, sway bars are really inexpensive, but they're a really good tuning option, and it's nice to have the full range of sway bars for both the front and the rear of the vehicle. I typically tune more with my front sway bar than I do the rear sway bar, but again, it is good because they're so inexpensive to have at least a range of sway bars, slightly softer and slightly stiffer, from kind of what your standard or baseline range is. Now, on the front of the car, the sway bar will do exactly what the name is. It will control the amount that the vehicle sways or rolls, primarily entering the turn. But the sway bar also will control how the vehicle exits the turn, again, talking about just the front sway bar. So typically a thinner front sway bar will allow the vehicle to roll deeper into the travel entering the turn. Now this would be good on lower grip surfaces or also if it's a really rough surface. And the reason why I say on a rough surface, it's not so much because you want more roll, but a thinner sway bar will allow the tires to kind of independently absorb the bumps better than a thick sway bar. So the other thing that a thin sway bar will do on throttle is because the vehicle, as it starts to transfer its weight and roll to the rear, because the sway bar is thinner, it's not going to overpower or transfer as much weight to the rear. So that's going to give the vehicle, it's going to allow it to kind of open up the turn a little bit on throttle. A thicker front sway bar will make the front of the car kind of continue to turn, or the front end to almost pull the rear through the turn a little bit more. So I typically start with a 2.3. That's kind of my baseline for buggy. If it's a really tight track or lower grip track, I'll go down to a 2.2 or even a 2.1 sway bar. And if it's really high grip and the vehicle is kind of rolling and transferring too much weight, or it feels like you're almost like it's nervous or a little bit over aggressive on the wheel, like you're almost afraid to turn the wheel, a thicker front sway bar would help in that condition. Now, onto the rear, sway bar basically is doing the same thing. It's controlling the amount or the balance of roll that the vehicle has. Typically, a thicker rear sway bar is going to make the rear drive flatter, which is going to then kind of push or transfer more weight onto the front off throttle. And then on throttle, it's going to drive stiffer and flatter and not transfer as much weight from side to side. So in most conditions, a thicker rear bar is going to turn in a bit more aggressive and be a bit more stable and help with on-power steering coming out of the turn. A thinner rear sway bar is going to, again, allow the rear to roll more. The tires are going to be more independent when accelerating through bumps. Thinner sway bar will be better in lower grip conditions. And it will also help the car through really tight hairpins, kind of roll and dig for grip and allow the car to kind of, I guess, have a bit more mid-corner steering without actually breaking loose and sliding. Now, if you have too thin of sway bars in a higher grip condition, it's going to be unstable, kind of roll and wiggle from side to side. So again, it's finding that right balance that works for you and also the grip level for the conditions that you're racing in. So something to play with and tune. Again, lower grip, typically thinner sway bars, bumpier conditions, thinner sway bars, higher grip or smoother tracks, you would run thicker sway bars.